welcome. I'm Louise from Wildflower Wool, and it is Monday. It is the first Monday of August. It's a long weekend here. We're just finishing up a weekend. It's been a holiday here, and I am literally just back home from the cottage. So I hope everybody has had a great week and you've had a great weekend, especially if you've had a long weekend that we did. We were able to go up to the cottage for the first time in well over a year. The weather was not that great. It was very cool and rainy. Today was, the day we're coming home is the first day that it decided to straighten around and kind of feel like summer weather. But that was okay. We had lots of fun doing things indoors, and it was fun. It was great. So this yarn, I found this yarn at the grocery store at the cottage. If you've been following my Instagram feed for the last few years, you'll know that every time I go up there, I always come home with yarn, because when there is yarn at the grocery store, you just have to support that, right? So classic wool, Patton's Croy sock yarn. This is a colorway that I am pretty sure I do not have. It is called Dad's Jacquard. And it's Dad's. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me because it looks really girly to me. Yes. Dad's Jacquard. I'm not sure. Anyways, it is pink and red and yellow and lime green with a little bit of gray in there. So the New Start Monday question for today was socks or a shawl? Hi, Barb. And hi, I think Jocelyn popped in here and a few other people have joined in. So welcome, everybody. Socks or shawls? That was the question. What should I do with this yarn? I've got more than 2 balls, but this is enough for socks. I've got extra if I was to do a shawl. This one wasn't close. Oh, no, Barb. And hey, Karen. Anyways, socks won out, which I guess is a good thing. I really kind of secretly was hoping it was going to be a shawl. Oh, Sabrina, you said socks? Socks won. This one wasn't as close as the last few weeks. I mean, last week was it was 1 vote. Daisy's really happy to see me. I literally walked in the door. I don't even have any makeup on. I'm truly, this is the cottage look. Anyways. Can you hear her purring? Poor kid. Hi, Sherry. I think she missed me while I was gone. So she's jumped up here. Hey, Joanne. So anyway, that's why I'm a few minutes late tonight, because I dropped off my nephew. I dropped off my son, came home. I grabbed my knitting out of the car and came right up here. So anyways, I am here. Daisy's here with my cottage yarn, and it is socks. Yeah, not even close. Most people were saying socks, which makes a lot of sense because it is, what are we, August 2nd? These should definitely be my August socks, shouldn't they? Somebody, yeah, Jocelyn saying yes, socks. Jocelyn, I have a feeling this is going to be a whole sock knitting week for me. Jocelyn and I will be live right here Thursday night at 7:30, so half an hour earlier than tonight, and we're going to be talking about the whips that we worked on for the month of July and whether or not we got our goals accomplished. I said I was going to finish 2 pairs of socks and possibly start on a 3rd. We'll see when Thursday comes where I am on that challenge. But in the meantime, I'm going to start these ones because you can never have too many socks on the needles, right? Am I right? Of course I'm right. Exactly, Jocelyn saying the crafting crunch has begun, because yes, we're down to the last few days, and we'll see. But I'm going to start a new ball. I think I'm just going to do my super simple sock pattern, 64 stitches on a 2.5 millimeter needle. Do 2x2 ribbing for, this long. I typically do at least 2 inches. Sometimes I go over because I actually enjoy doing ribbing. So it'll be 2+ inches of ribbing. Heel flap and gusset, and just let the pretty colors stripe up. I think this actually would make really fun shorty socks too. Oh. Okay, guys, here's another question. Help me out here. If these are going to be August socks, and they do look summery, right? Should I do shorty socks? I mean, I'm not just saying that because it would really, really cut. What do you think? Short socks or full socks? Help me decide. I was just thinking of full socks. Oh, I've got one shorty, one not shorty. Okay, so we're back to 0 again. Full socks, says Joan. Full socks, says Sabrina. Oh, you guys are killing me. Okay, I know. Full socks makes more. Okay, because it is getting towards the end of the summer, right? What's the point of having short socks now when fall? Oh, fall is going to be creeping in. Oh, two people are saying short. Oh, the crafty chemist is saying shorty. Okay, we've got one. Oh, okay. Yes, you haven't seen anybody knit this colorway in a shawl. Probably not because of the striping. But I thought it would be fun to try and see what it looks like and add. I have got, I have some navy. Oh, I can't grab it. When I saw navy and I had thought about doing some stripes or something. Maybe I'll do that yet. Okay, so let me see. Let me backtrack here and see what. One for shorties. No, okay, that will, okay, one for full, two full, 2 and 2. Okay, so we're back even. One for one for short. You guys, anybody else want to say short or full socks? Right now, shorties are ahead by 1. We'll let you think on that. See if anybody else. Oh, Sherry says short. I had the best idea ever, you guys. Okay, shorties are up by 2. Maybe I should just cut the voting off right here. Because maybe I'm thinking I want it to be short socks. I bought this yarn at the cottage yesterday or the day before. I could do short socks, cast them on this week, just do shorties, and then I could wear them back to the cottage when we go back up at the beginning of September for a weekend. That's doable. I could take a picture of me wearing these. If I want to do that, there's a whole lot better chance of that happening if shorties than if they are a full pair. Okay, I think shorties it is. Thanks, guys. I feel really excited about this. I may have enough left over. I could still do a shawl and put the navy in. I could do both. I think somebody said do both. Mary Lou said do both. Hi, Anne. You opted for a shawl. Oh, and don't wear socks in the summer, so I'm not a good voter. Well, you know what? I was really excited. I am excited to do a shawl out of this colorway. Daisy. Oh, I'm afraid actually to hold her. Usually when I hold her, she turns around and bites me. She doesn't like being held too much, but she's slipping away on me. Anyways, okay. Barb, you're happy with shorties? You said Barb, you said a shawl too. I think I could do both. And the little bit of yarn that I use for the shorty socks, I could always get more. That is, I think I have a plan. You guys are awesome for helping me figure this out. I have a few more things to show you what I worked on this week. This may bring some eye rolls, but I'm not even sorry about that because I love it. Oh, you'd love to see Croy as a shawl? I would like to have a Croy shawl, so I will work on that. That will be next time. I'll have to word the question as in what technique, as opposed to a shawl or socks. We'll say it's definitely a shawl, and then you guys can help weigh in on some of the techniques. But look at this. Oh, Granny D, how are you? I hope you've had a good start to your week. You guys, Granny D, have you used this yarn? A few people have said they have. This is the Red Heart Scrubby Sparkle. I know when I showed this a few weeks ago, I could hear some of the eye rolls. They're like, no, Louise, don't do it, right? But as weird as it is, and maybe that's part of the appeal. And Granny D, you said you've used it? Yes, I sure have used it. I was sure you have. Okay, so you've knit with it. Have you actually used it for your dishes? How is it? Because Karen said that no, it's her mother that absolutely swears by this and wants Karen to keep knitting her more to give her new ones. And I think it would work great. You know, it does, because it does have some more scrub factor to it than just the regular scrubby yarn does. Kind of like, and this is as big as I'm going to do it. I went 30 stitches across on a 4mm needle. I just started down here doing my super simple dishcloth pattern, and I increased up to 30. So I'm not even sure. So it's going to be this square, which is, I don't know how, what is that, about 3 inches? No, maybe, yeah, maybe a little more. 3.5 inches square is what I'm going to go with for this first one. And then maybe I will see if I will do some bigger ones. The ball band shows, well, I think maybe there's 2 sizes on there. This looks like a little one, doesn't it? Then this looks like a full-size dishcloth. I mean, really can't go too wrong, right? Whatever your personal preference is, right? Okay, so Granny D is saying you've made the kitchen scrubby from it. Oh, and you've also used it. So you've made the kitchen scrubby. Okay. From it on its, okay. Scrubby on its own. And then you've also used it with cotton for washer dishcloths. Okay. Well, I'm excited just to try it on its own. And you know what? It's not really that hard to work with. It is eyelashy, right? Which sometimes is tricky, but it's not that hard. And it is scratchy, but it's not super terrible to work with. I think I'm just excited for the finished product. Hi, Nadine. How are you? I'm so happy you're here, Nadine. So Nadine, I saw what your comment that you're dyeing paper. It said you were trying to take a little bit of break from knitting and you're doing some other crafty stuff, which is super exciting. So Nadine, have you used the Scrubby Sparkle? I'm just excited about it. So I am going to go back and get the white ball. There's some white balls at Michael's because somebody said that, yes, they had made it into a Christmas ornament ball and it was white and sparkly. So I want to make this into a pom-pom and like make pom-pom decorations out of it. Granny D, what's this? You'd also like to make, a back scrubber with it. That, you know what? That it would be nice because it is scrubby and you would get a good scrub, but it's not. Oh, Barb. Oh, a snowman was your idea. That sounds like a great idea, doesn't it? Yeah, this would make a good back scrubby. It may be a little irritating. So many uses. Oh, okay. So Nadine's use this too. You love making exfoliating washcloths. Love it. Kim, you haven't run into the sparkly dishcloth? Oh, yes. Oh, when you were weaving. Oh, how exciting. It kind of looks like, the white wood kind of look like snow when it has that sparkle on those cold, crisp days when the snow sparkles. You would mix it, you would mix it with cotton for the back scrubber? I guess you could do either, depending on how you, I'll have to try it. Try it both ways. Oh, it gets softer with soap and water? Okay. Good to know. Good tips, ladies. Thank you. I can't wait. I have grand plans, you know, to make a bunch of these for Christmas gifts. And while we were up at the cottage, my cousin was up there and I was showing her. So she's like, oh no. She's like, now I have, like, oh no, as in a good way, right? I have, now she has to run to Michael's to go get some because now she wants to give it a try. It's going to be super fun. I know. I think it would be great for Christmas ornaments. My all knitted decorated Christmas tree, I think white sparkly would look really cute on there. Kim, yeah, I think you should try it. You know me, right? As soon as I get hooked on something, I want to share the love. I want everybody to use it. So hopefully everybody ends up liking it. I'm liking it so far. I think it's fun. It's different and it's fun. And there's not a lot of different things in knitting that I haven't tried or done. So when I find something, I get very excited about it. I know, Anne, I do. I will make pom-poms out of it. Oh, I have so many fun ideas for pom-poms, you guys. It's ridiculous. Some people, every time somebody finds a cute pom-pom craft, lots of times I'll either get a screenshot of it or a link sent to me in a DM, which is fantastic. So I've been kind of keeping them all together to do some pom-pom crafting. Oh, for snowflakes. Well, I don't know. Maybe, possibly. That's a good question because we are doing in September, the Fiber Friends Challenge is snowflakes, like snowflake ornaments. That would be kind of fun. I don't know, Donna. It would it would be pretty. You'd have to use a bigger hook, right? Or a needle or however you're going to make them, but why not? I say try it. Go buy a ball of white sparkly, make some pom-poms that look like snowballs. You could make them into a snowman and make, like, we could, so many things. Who just needs to use it in the kitchen when we can decorate our house with it? So look at this, you guys. I have a finished hat. Well, finished kind of almost. I got as far as cutting my ends. I had this sitting at the picnic table this afternoon. I meant to grab a darning needle. I think I even had the darning needle out of my bag. And then we decided to go for a walk. So I didn't get it totally finished. I finished it around the campfire. I think it was last night. I love the top. I love how when you pull the top in, the pattern makes it like a flower. Could almost look like a snowflake kind of look, couldn't it? On the top. So it is almost done. It is as close as it can be to being done without being done. Just a few ends to weave in. So thanks, Danielle. I really like this. And this was the colorway that you guys picked. This was a New Start Monday colorway, this moss green and magenta. And I think it's really fun because it's a little bit different. So I think it fits pretty good. I did it 8 1/4 inches and then I did 3 rounds of decreasing. So I think it comes down, it's going to cover my ears nicely. I like it. I really like it. This means I'm going to have to cast on another hat. Oh my gosh, don't just stop me. I've got socks to finish. Can't think about a hat. What am I talking about? What else did I... Oh, I don't think I brought up my shawl. I did work a little bit on my orange crush shawl. A little bit, not a super lot. I worked some of it this weekend at the cottage and I messed it up. After I say it serves me right because I've been talking about how easy it is, the 4-row repeat. It's so easy. I can look at my stitches. I know what row I'm on. Well, oops. I messed it up. I remember picking it up and I hadn't done it in a while, maybe, I don't know, maybe almost a week. Anyways, I picked it up and I thought I knew what row I was on, and I did the wrong row. And a couple rows later, I looked at it. I'm like, no, there's too many rows in there between the pattern stitch. So took my needle out, pulled out about, I don't know, 4 or 6 rows, picked it up, and I'm back on track. So I don't have to, there was really no progress because anything I knit, I pulled out. So it backfired on me. But anyways, but I had my hat done, so I'm happy about that. My socks, I'm really excited about this. I really like this colorway. Has anybody knit with this colorway before? It has a new ball band on it, so it has to be a newer colorway because I don't think I've seen this. I was scanning through all of the Croy that they had on the shelf, and I'm like, I'm going through, I'm going, I have that, 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 have that, have that. Going through it, I'm like, oh, come on, I have it all. And then I looked down at the very bottom shelf and I like zoomed in. I'm like, whoa, what is this? I don't think I have this. And I picked it up and I read the name, Dad's Jacquard. And I'm like, no, I'm sure I have never heard of that before. So I'm not sure if this is a brand new colorway or it's just one Lens Mills doesn't have. Oh, thanks. I know. I like this. I like the moss green with the little bit of bright pink. Oh my gosh, Joanne, tinking. Ugh. I started tinking. I tinked back about half a row, and then I actually looked at my knitting and I thought, okay, this is all just basically stockinette. And I thought, forget this, tinking back stitch by stitch. I'm like, no, I don't have time for this. So I pulled the needle out and I just ripped. Okay, so Joanne's saying, no, it's not new. So how in the world have I not seen this? Or maybe before I just kind of scanned over it and thought, oh, it's too pinky. There's too much like pink and red in it for me. But this summer, can you tell? I kind of have a pink thing going on here. It seems to be either orange or pink. I don't know. Maybe I'm turning over a new leaf. Anyways, I don't have any of this. I'm sure I don't have any of this in my stash. And I just kind of fell in love with it. So I can't wait to start knitting with it. I'm going to have to find needles though. Oh, anyways, that has really been my knitting. Did I show you guys my orange that I over dyed 2 weeks, not this weekend, but last weekend? Can't remember. I think I showed you all of my cotton, but I've got the orange here to show you. So Stephanie just said, you're just finishing, oh, you just finished ripping back about 5 inches of a shawl. Oh, so it's in a timeout. I know, darn. As much as, yeah, ripping out is just part of knitting, right? Somebody said we're teaching a friend, a coworker, somebody to knit, and they said something like, boy, I can't wait till I get experience so I stop making mistakes, right? And of course, all of us, whoever repeated that to us, you know, she was giggling and then all the rest of us burst out laughing, right? Because it doesn't matter how experienced you are, you still make mistakes, right? And it's just part of knitting. Hopefully, as we get more experience, though, we make less and less, right? Or it's at least easier to fix them. When you make a mistake, you're not stumped. We can fix it, right? Okay, so this was the orange. I wasn't sure if I showed you all the orange dyeing that I did last weekend for the Fiber Friends dyeing challenge. You all know this Briggs & Little Heritage. It's 100% wool. It is called Hunter Orange. There it is. I have got, you know, I would like 20, give or take, skeins of this. And as much as I love orange, it is a little bright. It is neon. It is the perfect something that a hunter would wear. Hey, Teresa. Or a construction worker. You want something, you know, if you're going to go biking or walking at night, this would be perfect. I don't really want this shade of orange. So I over dyed it. So let me see if I can remember which one is which. Yes. This one was started it with purple. I was told that using purple over orange would give us a russet color, which I'm kind of guessing this looks like a russet color, right? Kind of a russet is a rusty color, rusty brown. So I think that's pretty much what I've got here. I put in, this was using Grit dye. I put in some of the purple. Didn't really do too much right away. So I think we put in a little more purple dye. Still didn't do a whole lot. And then we added in, did we do black? What did Cheryl say? Oh, Teresa, what's this? Your son's, oh, your son, Hunter Orange would be perfect for him. My son's color, Hunter Orange. Well, see, maybe some people like, I love orange, but even this is a little too bright for me. Oh, well, Anne, that's a really good question. So Anne asked, kind of an obvious question, why did I buy 20? Well, I didn't actually buy it, Anne. A friend of mine bought it, Amanda, because she had a plan. Yes, right, Dawn. It was given, I traded her for it because I do silly things like this. Amanda had bought it and she was with the full intention of making hunters, hats, and trigger mittens, you know, the mittens that have the thumb and the finger for hunting. The men in her family hunted and they had friends that hunted. So, lovely accessory here. So she was going to do hats and these mittens for them all until she did a couple of hats. She got the guys to try them on, and the Briggs and Little, like Briggs and Little is, it's not, it probably is like Lopi, but it's kind of similar to Lopi. So it's very rusticy, and it just all across the forehead where the ribbing was just really irritated them. And I remember her thinking, you know, would she line it with fleece or something for them? But it ended up that actually her, she like little bits of fluff would come off the yarn and just irritate her nose and whatever. And oh, I love Briggs and Little, right? And maybe my intention all along was to over dye it. So I traded her either Classic Wool or Cascade 220 for all this Briggs and Little. So this started out purple. I think we added a little black in here to kind of darken it. So it is a really fun shade and I like it. I like it a lot. The other one we dyed turned out very similar. So there's kind of the start, undyed, and this is after we were finished playing around with it. I had another skein of it and I dyed it with gray Rit. So it turned out this is definitely still brighter and has kind of that undertone of the orange in there, but it's not really that far off. This looks brighter, I think, on camera, but in person they look fairly close together. Anyways, I just thought it was really interesting how you could use purple and gray and get similar colors. I actually think I like this a little bit better. It's a little brighter. They're both all right. I'm gonna try dyeing. I'm a bunch of them to do a sweater because I've got all this yarn. I need to do something with it. So I think I would like a sweater with it. Some of them, oh, a warm camp blanket. It would, Joanne, would it not? Man, let me tell you, we needed it this past weekend. It was, you know, the last couple of days of July. It was cold. It was cold. I wore my jeans, my socks, a t-shirt, a sweater all day and I was really tempted to wear it to sleep. It was chilly. We had blankets on the bed because there was no heat in where we were sleeping. It was chilly. A nice warm blanket. This would have been perfect. So when I dyed this, I I ended up I poured some of this gray, and I put some in the dye pot and I stirred it. Then I plunked my yarn in, and I was kind of pulling it out thinking, okay, this isn't doing much. So I poured in more gray just right straight from the bottle, and some of it poured onto the yarn, which is maybe not a bad thing. Just give it a little variation. But yeah, so every once in a while there's a couple dark spots. But I think this would be a fun project to knit up and see how it turns out. Yeah, there's another spot. See there, see there. But I think that would probably be just more interesting, wouldn't it? I like things that are tonal or gradient. I'm not a big, what's the word I want? I don't want my yarn to be totally perfect. Kind of like how that looks with the variations. I know when Debbie Zeraldo and I had done the indigo dyeing in the past, she was very particular about trying to get her skeins completely even. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not worrying about that. I like having a little light and dark spots in there. So I'm hoping that this coming weekend on Saturday, I will have time to do some more dyeing, whether I dye the orange or I do some more cotton, because I loved dyeing that cotton. I want to try doing more of it. We have a beach knitting day. Our guild has a beach knitting day coming up this Sunday. So that is super exciting to look forward to. So maybe some dyeing on Saturday for me. The Fiber Friends, our newest challenge for August, starts this Friday. It is a knit what you dyed. Donna, I saw you posted you had a great idea. What did you say? You're dying to knit? I like that. I really like that too. So the whole idea is whatever you dyed last weekend. Oh, gives a character the variation in color. That's what I think too. So whatever you dyed last weekend, you've got this week to think of what you would like to knit with it. Some people I know have already started their projects. Some people dyed with a certain project in mind. So if you know what that is, this week is the time to start posting which yarns out of all, because a lot of people did multiple skeins. So pick, which one you're going to knit with first. You can post pictures over in the Fiber Friends Facebook group. You can, yes, show us what you're going to start knitting, what project you're going to do. You can, share the link to the pattern if you know exactly what you're going to do. And then Friday night, when we are live in the Fiber Friends Friday Night Knitting Group, that will be our kickoff. And this challenge is going to run for 10 days. And, with kind of the hopes that maybe some of us will get some projects finished. Some people did some cotton, so I'm assuming that there'll be some dishcloths. So 10 days is lots of time to at least get a dishcloth done, right? If you're doing something bigger, if you've dyed enough for a sweater quantity, 10 days will give you a good start on it. And I have not, and I do apologize for this, the Fiber Friends, anybody who did the dyeing challenge, Cheryl and I were going to draw winners for that this past Friday night when we did our live. Cheryl got held up and wasn't able to join us. I had to leave a little bit early from the live, and then my internet for the rest of the weekend was virtually non-existent. So I'm going to draw the winners tonight, and I will post them in the Fiber Friends group. So if you part in that challenge, later tonight I will post the winners. That's been my knitting week, you guys. The cottage was fantastic. It was so wonderful to be back up there, just being by the water, even if it was freezing cold. Some of the kids, my daughter and son-in-law, they went swimming. My nephew went swimming. The water was only, what they said, 67 degrees. 16 degrees Celsius, which I think is like 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Anyways, way too cold for me. I didn't even dip a toe in. So what has everybody else been working on this week? Anybody else, any finishes? Anybody else have anything that they're going to start? Jocelyn, I don't know, Jocelyn, if you're still here, I hope you've got some finishes ready to show Thursday. Or not. If you don't, that's okay. Don't rush on my account. Oh, yeah, well, I guess my first thing for this week is to finish off the top, actually finish the top of this hat. Stephanie, oh, was it Stephanie? You finished 3, let's see. Oh, Stephanie, you finished 3 dishcloths. That's fantastic. Now, are they for you, or is this a starter gift knitting for you? That's right, Joanne. This is a cotton top, isn't it, for you? So you finished 1 more ball. So you are getting close, aren't you? That's exciting. That's, ooh, 1 more ball in. Oh, I feel like I need to do like a little happy dance for you, Joanne. Oh, Donna, you're making a blanket for you. Is it still one of your chevron patterns that you did? Oh, because you've done a couple already this summer. Oh, Danielle, you're doing Renee's test knit. Oh, exciting. That's got brioche in it, doesn't it? Nice, nice, nice. I know, that'll be fun. Oh, you know, I briefly thought about doing that test knit, and then I'm like, okay, you don't laugh, right? I know, me doing a test knit, what am I thinking? But Renee is one of our Knitting Goddesses Guild members. She is a fantastic knitter, and she always, almost always makes up her own patterns and modifies sweaters that she's such a talented knitter. So this is the first pattern that she has wanted to write up and to actually publish, and it's going to be a free pattern. So that would be, yeah, that would be fun when it's up on Ravelry. She wants it up for September 21st for the fall equinox. So we will have to do a little sharing of her pattern because I think it looks really nice. So Danielle, yes, brioche. Yeah, that'll be fun. Oh, Stephanie, you're starting Renee's test knit tonight too. Winding the yarn now. Oh, fantastic. I cannot wait to see how you guys are going to love it. I can't wait to see pictures of it. Donna saying, yes, another feather and fan. 3 shades, purple, gray, and aqua green. Nice. Fantastic. Donna, you must be going through yarn like crazy, knitting all these Afghans. I kind of have an urge to make an Afghan as well. But we'll see. I can't get a pair of socks done. I don't know what luck I would have with an Afghan. Oh, Stephanie, you've never done brioche before? Well, slip the singles, work the double, and put a lifeline in. Those are my two tips right off the top of my head for brioche. You'll see once you start doing brioche, you're going to have a stitch with a yarn over. That's your double stitch. You always work that, whether it's a knit or a purl, the single stitch, you always slip. There's my little tip for you for brioche. It's fun. It's fun. So what else? Anything else? I mean, we are, yes, we've got a few more minutes if we want to chat. I need to think here about my knitting for this week. Get this finished. Get this last end done in, and then this will be done. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. If I'll keep this for myself, or I may just put it in the gift basket. Oh, Donna, you let your go a lot less yarn. What is this for your son to have to deal with after I'm gone? Okay, Donna, don't even say things like that. I know. I always think I should leave. Well, I think I have in the past. I think I probably need to go over it again with my daughter, guess, about what she needs to do with all of this. Anyways, I think I'm going to work on my my Scrubby right now. So I did my increasing up to 30 stitches. I've done I think I've done 3 rows of plain knitting. I'm going to say I did. I know I've done 2. I think I've done the 3rd. And now I'm going to start decreasing. And I think I will actually keep this one for myself and try it. Oh, Stephanie, you love blanket knitting too, but you have 4 on the needles. You need a small project for a bit. Okay, here you go. Do a Scrubby. It doesn't get much smaller than that. I know, but there's something fun about blanket knitting. I think what I like with that is it doesn't have to fit. You don't have to worry about gauge as long as you like the tightness of the fabric that you're actually knitting. And you can just knit. I mean, unless you're doing like Donna, you're doing feather and fan patterns, so that's got some lace in there, so you have to pay attention. But if you're just doing something simple, it's just relaxing, and you can just sit down and knit hundreds of stitches back and forth and just enjoy the process of knitting without it being too complicated. And you can just knit and knit, and when it's done, and it's just a big project. You can just work on it forever, right? Stephanie, you said it keeps you warm. Exactly, it would, right? Which is great 7 months of the year. That's right. There's only a couple of months you don't need a blanket on. Absolutely. Is anybody else doing any blanket knitting right now? I need to think about that. I have a mitered square blanket that I should be working on. Our guild was working on a mitered square blanket like just before COVID started. We had one of our last guild meetings. We had all brought in odd bits, part balls of sock yarn, and we literally dumped them on the table. And we had a few of us had scales, and I forget how many grams we were weighing off. Kind of the idea to get 1 or 2 squares. And so we would you'd find a ball of sock yarn in the middle of the table that you liked. You would grab it and you'd wind a little bit, weigh it, wind it, and then cut it. And then we all went home with all these little tiny balls of yarn to start our blanket. And I don't know if we did that 1 or 2 meetings. Maybe we did it in January and February. And then, of course, March 2020 happened. We will all remember that for the rest of our lives, won't we? And that was the end of our guild meetings. So they've all been done on Zoom, but we haven't really, well, let me fix that. I have not worked on my blanket. I think I have 2 squares done or something. Other people have got lots more done, and they're beautiful. Every time I see one, I think, oh, I need to pull mine out. Maybe a mitered square challenge project should be in our future down the road. Hey, Catherine, you're working, what is this? You're working, on 2 chevron blankets. Oh, for your granddaughters. Oh, they picked their own colors. Wonderful. Stephanie, Northern Ontario. Yes. Common to see snow until the end of May, then anytime September, October. Yes. You are definitely in blanket country up there, aren't you? Let's hope the snow doesn't make an appearance for a little while. I know, I was surprised, even just as far north as we were this weekend. I mean, I know it's always cooler up there, but it was chilly. It was a lot chillier than I certainly was hoping for in the summer. Okay, 1 more row done. Teresa, you crocheted your Afghan. Oh, so a scrappy one? That's what you're crocheting? A scrappy? You crochet your Afghans just first a scrappy one. I like scrappy blankets. You know that? I like scrappy anything. I think just mixing odd little bits of colors together always look nice. Well, all right, guys, this is maybe all that we have to chat about tonight. I'm going to try to get a couple of things finished this week. So I have some finishes. I feel like I haven't gotten a whole lot of finishes done this year. Feel, feel like I really need to work on that. I have a little bit of vacation time coming up in a couple of weeks. Maybe? Who knows? Who am I kidding, right? I'll probably just cast something new on. Cast on a vacation sweater or something. Maybe that's when I'll start my blanket. Who knows? I always like the idea of finishes until I need to finish something and then I cast something new. I was always supposed, I think this is my year to become a finisher. I think that was my plan. We'll see. Some things are getting finished. My Orange Crush shawl is getting close to being done. So I'm excited about that. And once it's finished, I want to immediately turn around and cast it on with some different yarn, and I want to do it as a 2-skein project. So it will be nice and big. The one I'm doing now is just going to be the 1 skein, and so it'll just be a nice scarf for under my coat for when winter does make an appearance. But it's something I'm enjoying knitting it enough that I would turn around and cast it on again. All right, everybody. Well, I think we will just wrap up for tonight. I have my car to go unload. It is filled with camping, cottaging things. Oh, I know the F word. I know finishing. I know what's that? Finishing is like a 4-letter word, or yeah, it is an F word, isn't it? Oh, I truly do envy people who stick with a project, knit on it, and finish it. I remember, well, when was that? Almost a year ago. I did that with that sweater when Jocelyn and I had that 2-week sweater challenge. It's like, whoa, I like this. Like, it's amazing what you can do when you only work on one project at a time. But I knew that feeling would wear off and I would go back to my old ways. I should revisit that, shouldn't I? I should really try some stick-to-itedness. That's what I should do. Plan. Yes. Plan my knitting out. Always a good idea. I like to plan. I have a little trouble through sometimes. Oh my gosh, Stephanie. So you just cast everything on too. And that's how you ended up with 14 whips. I know they add up quick, right? And they don't finish near as fast. What did oh, you know what, one other thing I could tell you that we did. This is kind of exciting. Yes, Danielle, good luck with everything. We did cord making with Lucettes this weekend. So that was fun. And my dad actually made me 2 Lucettes. Now, one of them I sent home with my nephew, and I think the second one got left in the shop. I think Dad was putting some more lacquer or varnish or something on it, on the wood. So when I have them back, we will talk about that a little bit more. But if you could go check, if you want to see it being done, my nephew Nathan, he did a whole ball of chunky, a Bernat pop, I think it was, in like a couple hours. He just did the whole chunky ball into Lucette. So I filmed him doing it because he was doing it like really quickly. And it is on Wildflower Wool's Instagram as a reel if you want to go watch him do it. It's very rhythmic and relaxing actually doing it. It's just one of those things. What do you do with the cord once you have it, right? It's just like doing corking and then go round and round and sew it together and make a hot mat. Anyways, it was kind of a fun. It worked. It filled some time when it was rainy at the cottage, so it was a perfect thing to do. But once I have the Lucettes that my dad made, I will show them to you because he did a fantastic job. I think we probably are getting close to 9 anyways now, right? So I'm gonna head out, go unpack my car, do a little bit of knitting tonight before I have to head back to work for tomorrow. So everybody have a great knitting week. I hope whatever you're working on, there is no drop stitches, no pulling back, and maybe some finishes in your future, right? Oh, a chunky blanket with the cords. You know what? That is possible. I was actually thinking about, yeah, once he had done them and then knitting with the cord. I guess there's some possibilities. Just have to be creative, don't we? All right, everybody. Thank you so much for visiting with me. And like I said, Jocelyn and I will be here Thursday night. If you're looking for a little bit of a visit from some knitting friends. And then, of course, there's always Friday night in the Fiber Friends group. And Cheryl and I will have another podcast up on Saturday. So there'll be lots of things for us to visit and chat about. So have a great knitting week, everybody, and I will see you back here next Monday night. Bye.